All right, let's pivot over to the Knicks side. We talked a lot about the Lakers, but I think it's only right if we go and hit the Knicks side. Tan boy Jackson, it's like unreal how tan you are. I
Um,
also I also feel like I've shown you the pictures of me when I'm tan. I'm about to like in a month in Miami. This is what I'm gonna look like. I'm holding a picture. You're gonna die. All right, you're gonna laugh so hard. God, yes, this is a good picture. Have you seen Grandma's Boy? You probably haven't, so
I
you're
don't
gonna.
think so.
In Grandma's Boy, his marijuana dealer's like super tan and like owns like illegal species. This is how I'm
Oh
gonna
my
look
god,
after a month. I'm gonna look this tan. It's like in my
that's Florida living, man.
well, I tan like I'm the type of person you put me if it's like a really high UV day, within like 4 hours I come in and I'm like brown. I mean, I've shown you the videos and pictures of me of like being fucking dark. I just haven't been. I'm in Kansas. I'm not in the sun ever.
Yeah, it's just sun's here is no joke. I went out on like Wednesday to just read by the pool for an hour, and I was burnt till like probably yesterday. Honestly, on my chest. It
Really?
doesn't get that type of sun usually. I should have put on. I gotta start putting on sunscreen. An all NBA defender. This is ludicrous.
Okay, so Deuce McBride hit a 3-point shot last night, Swaggy. Corner three. I've been a big Deuce McBride. I used to go party at West Virginia a lot. So I used to watch a lot of WVU basketball games. So I've always had my eye on West Virginia basketball players and love Deuce McBride. Screams Tom Thibodeau. But what? Oh, I put the fucking wrong picture up. And oh, I'm so mad. Knicks. Let's find the right picture. But what was your takeaway from this game from the Knicks' perspective?
They really needed it. They just really needed it, and it's good that they got it. Oh, it's not easy going. I mean, you're not sleeping at home. You're not in your own bed. You're playing difficult teams: Sacramento, Los Angeles, Clippers, Lakers last night. It's a tough arena to play in as an opposing team. They're going to berate you, but New York they've got some great fans over in New York, so it's kind of similar to playing in the Garden. It's just when you're on the road, man, late in the season, sometimes you get a little bit tired. Maybe it's 3 hour difference. I would consider that like jet lag. I took me a while to acclimate to Eastern from Central, so I don't know, man. I think they really needed it. It's not even like we were talking about. It's not even really necessarily for seeding. They'll be fine as they'll be happy with 5 or 6, and they'll be a 5 or 6 team. And you'll play Philly or you'll play Cleveland, and they know this. But just gotta keep gunning at it. It's not always gonna be pretty. They almost folded this game. Some clutch free throws late, some clutch moments late, and I don't know. You got to just keep rising on it. Whenever you're without your I would imagine everyone's saying Jalen Brunson's the best player on this team now. As good as a season Randall's having, when you're missing your top guy, it's a big deal. The Knicks only have 2 games this week, so that's also cool. Good for them. Get some much needed rest.
So right now, Macaulay Culkin's trending on Twitter, and I try to figure out why. But what I want to talk about. Swaggy said it best. RJ Barrett's also been playing better. I think RJ Barrett's been an unsung hero. I mean, Josh Hart, I think, is the guy who has changed the whole Knicks season. Josh Hart,
Yeah.
You're like, why? Hey, Josh Hart, the defense that this man brings. All right. B, Josh Hart's a leader. And C, Josh Hart passes. People don't realize Josh Hart always had the ability to be a secondary ball handler. But since he's came to New York, the secondary ball handling has been put on exposition. All right. He's been coming out here as a New York Knicks. All right. And I know since his time with the Pelicans in 2021, he has been this guy who's been a secondary ball handler. The last 2 seasons, he's been averaging 4 assists a night. But I really feel like with the Knicks, where he's averaging through 13 games now, almost 11 points on 61% from the field, 58.6 from three, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, steal a night, half a block. What he is he's actually a play initiator. He went from being this play connector to a play initiator where he's bringing the ball up the court. And this is a team that Deuce McBride is arguably their pure backup point guard, because I like to say my in-state neighbor Emmanuel Quickly is more of a combo guard than pure point guard. And behind Jalen Brunson, they don't really have a pure point guard besides Deuce McBride, and he's more of a defense specialist. So Josh Hart has really became this team's like secondary ball handler, like when Brunson's not there. What do you think? Also, Isaiah Hartenstein closing games over Mitchell Robinson.
It was a huge move, dude. We talked about it all offseason. It was just it's a slept on type of move, and now we've been seeing the impact.
Dude, I didn't see Swaggy. I didn't see Swaggy comment this right as I said that. That is so funny that he literally commented as I had said that.
You have the best of both worlds. And you're right. With Josh Hart, he's kind of like a nice Energizer bunny. It's all that stuff sticks with players. So good on the Knicks, man. I don't think they're going to win the NBA Finals, and that's perfectly fine. And it's not even
they're
really
one player away. I think like nothing against RJ Barrett, but if you could trade RJ Barrett because he just has the like most tradable contract that matches up with like superstars. For example, I'm trying to think of a guy who could be available this offseason.
Calvert.
But I know you're going to say that. And let's just say in a vacuum, I doubt that would ever happen. Personally, doubt this would ever happen. RJ Barrett and like 3 first-round picks from Mikal Bridges. I think that's now a championship team.
I don't get why Mikal Bridges is a 3 first-round pick player, but I like I think Mikal Bridges on this team would be.
This team would be a championship contender. I would be screaming that this team would be a contender if they had at least a Mikal Bridges caliber player instead of RJ Barrett. If you replaced RJ Barrett with Mikal Bridges, this team is now a contender because you have a 1, 2, 3, and Brunson, Randall, and Bridges.
Yeah, especially on the defensive side, I think Mikal would do them wonders as opposed to RJ. No disrespect to RJ, had a great game last night. I think he's like 4-23 in his last 4 games from downtown, but he's still scoring. He had 1 3 last night. He still dropped 30.
They got the depth at the center position. You got Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, and then you even got Jericho Sims if you need to break the glass. Obi Toppin's been putting in some good minutes. Obi Toppin's really, someone's going to give him some money when, not like a huge contract, but I see him getting like a full mid-level exception or something whenever he hits free agency. You don't think, so I think Jalen Brunson this season, if he isn't a top 5 point guard, he's top 10 at least. He's one of the best point guards in the league. I think Jalen Brunson's taken his game to that next level. I wasn't even a Brunson fan to begin with this season, but I'm willing to admit that this guy has done a phenomenal job at taking his game to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Brunson is the best player on the team. I don't think if that's an issue, then you need somebody better than Randall.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Jalen Brunson is a championship caliber point guard. I just think you go to what Jackson said about Mikal Bridges. Bringing in a guy like Mikal Bridges will help with the defense and make up for, Brunson's inefficiencies. And whoever wants to talk crap about Randall and his defense, I think last night is an example that when Randall tries, he's actually a plus defender. So I really think the big thing is Jalen Brunson, even if he tries because of his physical profile, he's not going to be a good defender. So having a guy like a Mikal Bridges instead of an RJ Barrett helps, hide and mask those defensive deficiencies.
We know the two players who takes this team, the two easily, maybe not easily, the two somewhat realistic, acquirable acquisitions are going to be Mikal Bridges this offseason and also a Mr. Tyus Jones. So
those are Tyus Jones. This is a very pro Tyus Jones show. There basically every point guard opening that we're like, hey, this team needs a better backup point guard, or this team needs a better starting point guard. We're always like, they need to find someone like Tyus Jones, or they need to trade for Tyus Jones. Okay, and Tyus Jones is the answer for a lot of teams. And these are two guys that are they gettable? Probably. Are they going to be traded? No, because their teams, the Grizzlies, really like Tyus Jones, and the Brooklyn Nets really like Mikal Bridges. But if we, in the terms of speculation, and we're doing a show, we do have to, acknowledge that those would be two guys that if we were the Knicks, we would be calling up all offseason for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would imagine Tyus will be a lot more attainable, just because he'll be on an expiring contract, and even though Memphis ideally doesn't want to give him up, if they could somehow find a replacement
I think it depends on how they feel with Kennedy Chandler, the rookie, and B, because Tyus Jones is – so I think it's more than likely Tyus Jones could get traded because he goes into his final year of his contract. So there's that. But what could keep them from trading him is – Ja Morant in the playoffs. How does that look?
Playoffs?
Well, if Tyus Jones has to play in the playoffs,
he'll feast. Oh, because Ja's not there?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say that.
Ja will be
there, but what if he gets hurt or if something unforeseen, having Tyus Jones a really good insurance policy, it looks like now.
I really need Ja back, actually, because my buddy's got Tyus Jones.
But Tyus Jones would be insane on the Knicks.